Welcome back to another edition of Zero Blog 30. Today we have 2 rounds in the magazine. Round number 1, unfortunately, another U.S. soldier voluntarily goes into one of our top adversaries and just to hang out, get some strange. The story is sad, it's pathetic, and we're going to go over it. Round number 2. Oh, Kristi Noem.
Yeah.
Kristi Noem.
I'd actually never heard of her until this.
Really?
Really.
Oh, she's kind of a wild card just in general. But
I'm more of a Marjorie Taylor Greene gal.
Oh yeah, she's kind of like South Dakota light Marjorie Taylor Greene a little bit.
All right.
But she's getting the chance to go on all these big shows and talk about her life as a governor, and she's making all kinds of mistakes and voluntarily giving up. She should plead the fifth in every interview that she does. She should plead the fifth, and we're going to tell you why. And all of that today is going to be brought to you by our good friends at Betterhelp. This show is sponsored by Betterhelp. We all carry around different stressors, big and small. When we keep them all bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space for to get things off your chest and to figure out how to think things work. I've been using BetterHelp for a long period of time. I know you guys have used it too. Yep. My mom has used it. A lot of people in my family have used it, especially after my mom's husband passed away. She was really torn up about it. Never had gone to therapy before. Never. Which I think is going to be drastically different for our generation. I don't think there'll be many people that can say that they don't. And if you believe that you shouldn't, maybe you should try this out because BetterHelp will make you feel a lot better. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/0 today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/0. I'm kind of excited to talk about this because I like to talk about dummies. Yeah. We got to.
I like to talk about catastrophically horny people.
Oh, yeah.
And
well,
this is the case of that, I think.
The Venn diagram is going to cover it for both of us, Katie.
Indeed. It certainly is.
It really is. Oh, man. I don't even know if I want to do a little edging for the listener because I know that they're excited to hear about this dummy too, because it's everything that you could want. It is everything that you could possibly want in a military story.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was just yesterday that we had North Korea guy, the guy that went over the DMZ thinking that North Korea would save him from getting in trouble with the army.
Do you guys know what his punishment was? I know he was charged with desertion after he came back.
I'm pretty sure he's in a brig somewhere here in the States.
Time served, right?
Yeah.
Get a little time served if you spend a month in a North Korean prison.
But some might say you deserve it a little bit. Kind of like this guy. An American soldier is being held by Russian authorities on charges of criminal misconduct, the Army confirmed. The U.S. officials said the soldier, Staff Sergeant Gordon Black, and to me, and again, I say this with love, as a lower enlisted who never made it out of the corporal range, I expect a little better from staff NCOs. I thought this was going to be a Lance Corporal type story.
I mean, we've had horny officers. Like, there's been
true. Silly me.
Of folks. We had who was it? Fucking Petraeus.
You're right. That's right. Horny Petraeus. People forget. You're right. Horny Fort Bragg was horny once.
Yeah, but it's important to remember how old you are when you can make E6. You're not that old.
This fellow's 34.
Well, that tells me something else. If he's 34 and still in E6.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. Well, unless he's like that guy who's the Army captain, gave up his commission. That guy's going to be
that's
like
true.
42 when he's a corporal.
Staff NCOs are going through something right now. Something's happening. Staff Sergeant Gordon Black, age 34, he's stationed in South Korea in the process of going back home to Fort Cavazos in Texas. Instead, officials said Black, who, spoiler alert, is married, traveled to Russia to see a longtime girlfriend and was accused of theft. The officials spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss personal details. In a statement, Army spokeswoman Cynthia Smith said the service member was arrested on May 2nd by Russian authorities in Vladivostok. She did not provide any info.
You can't go if you're a U.S. soldier, if you're trying to go get some strange, if you go to Russia, You got to stay in Moscow, maybe St. Petersburg. If you go to a place like that where you can't even come close to pronouncing it, you need to stay the fuck away.
Vladivostok. You can't be horny in Vladivostok.
No.
Yeah. The Russian Federation notified the U.S. Department of State of the criminal detention, and I bet they loved doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Ding dong.
That's probably like a lottery situation, right?
Yeah.
Where they got to do like draw straws or play some Rochambeau.
Who gets to call the U.S. and tell them that their horny soldier came over the lines?
Imagine
I get to. Yeah, you gonna get to.
Yeah.
Imagine you get that phone call as a platoon leader, though. Like, you're out. Like, I've gotten before. You're out on a Saturday night, and then that's the phone call you get. Okay, where is he? Russia? He's
Dude, I'm hanging up.
Out a little.
Yeah, I'm hanging up. I just don't believe it. I'm like, this is a prank. I'm getting got.
Yeah.
This is the AI of my other person that's getting the notification that they are cloning his voice. There's no way I believe that one of my troops left South Korea to go to Russia while he's married to hook up with his girlfriend that he's been dating for a long period of time.
That's the other part. So then the army had to notify his family. I wonder who had to make that call, because as somebody who's been cheated on and was blindsided by it, I would have been even more shocked if it was a lady in Russia. I gotta say, that would have really added another twist.
I mean, but I would want to make that phone call for the tea.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean,
But
for the
still.
tea that you would have, and I mean, granted, you don't want to hear like somebody's whole world get crushed apart.
Yeah, that's
But
a little
also-
tricky.
But
On the
you
other end
kind of
of
do.
that.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to. Might as well be me.
Yeah. So the army notified the family. The U.S. Department of State is trying to give support to this soldier who's stuck in Russia. The Russian woman had been living in South Korea, and last fall, she and Black got into some kind of domestic dispute or altercation. After that, she left South Korea, and it's not clear if she was forced to leave or what. Like, what Korean authorities, was it them who gave her the boot, or was she like, screw you, I'm done, I'm out? The Associated Press also reported that officials said Black, an infantry soldier, honey, you didn't have to tell me that.
Yeah, we knew.
You didn't have to tell me that.
We knew.
That he did not tell his unit he was going to Russia, and did not. Yeah.
Like, that's not one you put on your leave statement.
That
Like,
wasn't on the DA-31 leaf statement you filled out?
that doesn't pass the old safety brief.
Don't worry, sir. I got my
mustard.
Russian pussy chip right here. It's fine. An infantry soldier, he did not tell his unit he was going to Russia and did not receive any authorization to go there. They said he was essentially on leave as he left Korea to redeploy back home. White House officials earlier on Monday confirmed reports of the soldier being detained in Russia, but didn't offer any specifics. John Kirby, the national security spokesman, said that admin officials were closely following the situation. Smith said the army was withholding other details due to the sensitivity of this matter. Tensions between the U.S. and Russia have risen since the invasion.
We know all
of the-
that. There's some tensions there.
There is. You're
But
right.
there's a lot of stuff that this story is crazy, but I do understand the idea of getting honey-dicked. Like, people get honey-dicked.
What do you mean?
Like, where you get online, let's say somebody is typically outside of your range of possibilities of who you would be able to date. Like, if you're a dude that's like a 4 or a 5 on the attractive scale, and somebody comes into the scale, like come into the scene that's like an 8 or 9, I think you're breaking a lot of rules that normally goes because you got honey-dicked.
You're making a great point, because the military is littered with 4s and 5s. And if you have an opportunity and someone starts speaking sweet to you, you think you got a shot? Yeah.
I mean,
you
why
never
do you
go
think
that one step further to decide, is this a good decision? You just you have that opportunity and you jump at it.
And you're right. The U.S. military gives a very large group of 4 and 5s unprecedented access to foreign 8s and 9s.
Right.
And those 8s and 9s want the U.S. a 10, dare I say, God bless. And so they're willing to go to the 4 and 5 to get to the 10.
Oh, without a doubt.
I'm not a math lady, but I just threw some numbers at you there.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
And I think you're completely right. The amount of dudes that I was in Japan with that were married to Japanese nationals who were smoking hot.
Yeah.
When these dudes weren't, 5 would be generous.
Mm-hmm.
And they're walking away. I mean, that's what this guy, but that's not what this guy's doing. I brought it up because I wanted to show, hold on, Cons. I wanted to show you this woman and what she actually looks like. Are you guys ready?
Is this going to be a joke, or is this like a real?
No, this is
thing?
for real. Yeah,
So
this is for real.
you're telling me this is going to be no, it must actually be love kind of situation.
No, I can't do it. I forgot I can't do pictures. I can't show you pictures.
That's okay.
But she is a solid, she's a 7.
Okay.
She's a 7.
Well, what is he? Have we seen him?
Yeah, he might be like a 6, honestly. He's not that bad.
Maybe it is true love.
Yeah. Oh, not that.
That's a picture of a dog.
I drew a picture of a dog.
Beautiful.
Cons can't see it. Right here.
Oh.
I wouldn't even I would say she's probably a 6, right? Maybe even a 5.
Now, the thing this picture doesn't show, which is what I'm guessing must be the case, is, I say this with all due respect as a woman, enormous knockers.
She's got to have huge cans.
Absolutely massive artillery on this woman has to be the case because, no, I don't know. It must be. I mean, it's not like they were just an internet thing either. If she was living with him in South Korea, they were really into it. My other thing is, too, why don't you just tell your wife?
Just get a divorce.
Just get a divorce, man. Holy shit.
I mean, but I guess it's more expensive, right? Like maybe that's the way he's looking at it.
And isn't there a lot of paperwork? Isn't there a lot of paperwork to do?
A lot of paperwork, and a lot of people avoid the paperwork. Yeah. I mean, but I do agree with you. You just got to get a divorce in that situation. But there's like a ton. There's over 200 or something TikToks of this woman and like talking about this guy. She has him. Have you seen any of these?
No.
So there's TikToks of this woman in his apartment. She's teaching him like Russian phrases, like it's Russian Victory Day on the 1-year anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine. He's talking about how we don't want President Biden to be elected. We want President Trump because he'll restore some of the greatness to Russia. Like so much crazy, like crazy QAnon type shit.
Well, Russian propaganda really is what it is. So maybe my thinking is, and there must be Russian plants that are all over where troops are.
Oh, no doubt.
And what if we start to see more? What if they're reeling them into Russia one by one? Mm-hmm. That's my new tinfoil hat thing. Fellas, watch out.
You know how they'll do...
I don't think that's crazy. That's not that crazy or outside the realm of possibility, Kate.
You know how they'll put like a strip club on a blacklist that you're not allowed to go to?
And it makes you want to go to it more because you're like, what are they doing? Showing
they got to be doing full cooch, maybe even cooch penetration.
Or penis, you don't know.
You never know. Something's getting penetrated by something. That's basically the way that goes.
Talking about the numbers, though, and the number scale and men versus women, did either of you happen to see that meme floating around? And it's a picture of Shane Gillis and it's a picture of Sydney Sweeney. And then somebody quote tweeted it and said, average SEC couple.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, that's what it is a lot of times in this situation, too.
But sometimes it's in the reverse in the military, too. You'll see somebody who's in relatively good shape because they're a Marine. Like there was guys that I used to work with that they would be in decent shape and their wives would be absolute boats. Just enormous.
I have no comment.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. So it goes but maybe that's
goes both ways.
I don't want to. No, I can't. Yeah. I can't say that maybe that's what his wife is like. I won't say it on the pod.
No, I'm on her side.
Yeah, I'm definitely on her side.
You're a queen, ma'am.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah.
But if you do, I will say this for this woman, the one that was cheated on. If you find out that your spouse was cheating on you for years and living with someone else, finding out that that you only found out because they went to a Russian prison, it's got to make it a little better.
That's true. Right? That is a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, if that would have happened with me, like whenever I found out that my spouse had cheated on my ex-spouse, not Annalise, she would never, but my ex-spouse had cheated on me, I would have been over the moon. I would have been
if they were in Russian prison.
Hell yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be fucking awesome.
I guess it's kind of ideal in a way, the way it panned out. So
can I say something about cheating?
Sure. Yeah.
I had this discussion this weekend. And aside from the fact, right off the bat, that it's wrong, and that's why you shouldn't do it.
Disavow.
The amount of lies you have to tell to carry on with an affair is exhausting.
Yeah.
So why would you even invite that? Like, it's exhausting enough to be in a committed relationship. I love my wife. But, to stay on the straight and narrow just with one person. So now, like, balancing both, forget it. I wouldn't welcome that on anyone.
My memory's too bad, and Annalise knows it.
Yeah.
Like, your memory sucks.
You'd screw it up too much if you had
I would. I wouldn't be able to.
No,
The
I just
amount of
can't
times
be
I've
horny
been
anymore.
told. Wait, you told me something else.
Let's explore that, Kate.
I've decided I'll never be horny again. I'm done. I was hazardously horny for quite some time, and
well, you got it all out of your system.
I did. I think that's it for old Kate. I think I'm done.
I mean, that's what people say. Get rid of it by the time you're 40.
Yeah, I'm done. But enjoy it while you're doing it, because you never know it's going to be your last time when you're just going to decide you're not horny anymore.
It's kind of like picking up your baby. You never know when the last time you're going to pick your kid up.
Okay, it's very much like last time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm glad we clarified that. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to round number 2.
All right, Kristi Noem. Her book is already the stuff of political legend.
It really is.
God, I forgot about this. Mitt Romney's car roof riding dog had his time in the sun. Do you guys remember that shit?
Oh, yeah. Shit, literally. Yeah.
He drove from where to where with his dog on the fucking roof in the hot sun.
I think it was from like Cape Cod, because he used to be the governor of Mass, to, I think it was like 2.5 hours, 3-hour drive.
I think it was more than that. And with the dog and like knowingly on the roof. Anyways, that was crazy. But anyway, Seamus did not end his owner's career the way Cricket seems to have, by dashing Noem's hope of being the Trump VP pick. As Romney himself put it, the two scandals are quite different because, and I quote, "I didn't eat my dog, I didn't shoot my dog, I loved my dog, and my dog loved me."
I like how Mitt Romney's probably like, finally, I can clap back, and somebody's worse about dogs than me.
Noem killed her dog. That's a slight difference. His dog lived, this dog did not.
Right.
In her book, Noem recalls the time she decided to haul her dog Cricket, a wirehair pointer about 14 months old, to a gravel pit and fatally shoot her. Cricket's crime? She had an aggressive personality, and after Noem attempted to train her to hunt pheasant, she attacked some chickens instead.
So you guys can't see this as the listener, but I put in our sheet a picture of what this wirehair pointer looks like. And it is the most cuddly looking dog that you could possibly imagine. It's got the almost a Shetland type of mask on it, where it has basically a goatee. It's just the cutest dog, not a dog that you'd be like, oh man, that dog will fuck me up.
Yeah, it looks like a stuffed animal I had when I was a kid. Yeah. Here's the story per The Guardian. By taking Cricket on a pheasant hunt with her.
Oh, no, these quotes are directly from her book. Yeah.
By taking Cricket on a pheasant hunt with older dogs, Noem says, she hoped to calm the young dog down and begin to teach her how to behave. Unfortunately, Cricket ruined the hunt by going out of her mind with excitement, chasing all those birds and having the time of her life. Noem describes calling Cricket Noem describes calling Cricket, then using an electronic collar to attempt to bring her under control. Nothing worked. Then, on the way home after the hunt, as Noem stopped to talk to a local family, Cricket escaped her truck and attacked the family's chickens, grabbing one chicken at a time, crunching it to death with one bite, and dropping it to attack another. Cricket, the untrainable dog, Noem writes.
I don't like that as a name. Cricket, the untrainable
dog. That's going to be a new children's book she comes out with. Behaved like a trained assassin.
Let's grow up. This a wirehair as a trained assassin?
No, why? They're hunting dogs.
They are, but they're not known to be vicious. Like that. In 14 months, in some of the clips, she's been saying this dog was a full adult. No, the dogs don't graduate from our schools, the DOD schools, until they're 18 months. They don't even start training until they're around that age. Any type you're training, anything below that, it's like trying to train a toddler to do algebra. They can't do it. 9 months and below, they're essentially a toddler. This is crazy that it's untrainable. That's the prime training age.
Yeah. Well, when Noem finally grabbed Cricket, she says the dog whipped around to bite me. Then, as the chicken's owner wept, Noem repeatedly apologized, wrote the shocked family a check for the price they asked, and helped them dispose of the carcasses littering the scene of the crime.
That's very Sigonella in Sicily. They were doing that.
Oh, yeah. They've been writing off the... Through it all, Noem says, Cricket was the picture of pure joy. I hated that dog, Noem writes, adding that Cricket had proved herself untrainable.
It's like back to back. This dog is a picture of joy, but I fucking hated that thing.
Yeah. She hated that the dog seemed pretty happy while all this was happening. Dangerous to anyone she came in contact with and less than worthless as a hunting dog. So incredibly, Noem's horrific animal tale doesn't end there. She writes that right after killing Cricket, she decided she needed to put down her goat too, as he was nasty and mean because he had not been castrated. Noem decided to kill the unnamed goat the same way she had just killed Cricket. But though she dragged him to the gravel pit, the goat jumped as she shot and therefore survived the wound. You couldn't pry that out of me, by the way.
Right, like
1,000 million
this
years.
isn't like this didn't come from a deposition. This came at her own free pen.
Yeah, Noem says she went back to her truck, retrieved another shell, and hurried back to the gravel pit and put him down.
That reminds me of me, myself, and Irene when Jim Carrey gets out and he has to shoot the moose over and over and over again.
Yep, that's how I'm picturing this.
Yeah.
At that point, Noem writes, she realized a construction crew had watched her kill both animals. The crazy thing to me is that she dragged the dog to the gravel pit, killed it.
It was like,
and then was like, you know what? While I'm at it, I'll fucking kill the goat too. That goat's
a real piece of shit.
Yeah, while I'm killing, I might as well kill a couple more things around here.
And how does she not, when you're scanning for your next animal to fucking assassinate, how do you not see a couple dudes ripping fucking heaters in their yellow construction hats?
I'll be damned. Oh shit, is that Noem? Is that Kristi Noem? Is that fucking
that bitch is wild as hell.
The startled workers swiftly got back to work, she writes, only for a school bus.
Everything's getting shot.
Only for a school bus to arrive and drop off her children.
Oh my
How do you not look at the time and say, I better not kill these animals in the gravel pit next to the driveway right before the kids get home from school?
And again, she admits this under her own free will.
And well, it gets worse. Noem included her child's bewildered reaction for unclear reasons. Kennedy looked around confused, she writes of her daughter, who asked, hey, where's Cricket?
Fair question.
Ma'am, I got bad news for you. In the book, Noem says she met the North Korean dictator while she was serving in Congress.
Outrageous way to pronounce Korean.
Thank you.
Korean. Hold on. Korean. This is one that I actually have this sound. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
As you can tell, Cons is at he's at the airport. Where'd the little thing go? Motherfucker. So I'm trying to put a video in here. And where did it go? Why can't I present? Anyways, I have the clip of her talking, and I'll explain this part. So she's talking in her book, and she gives this big diatribe in her book about how she is she's been hanging out with different dictators, and she wants to look Kim Jong-un in the eye like she has other little tiny dictators, that she stared him down with her resolve and shit like that. Well, turns out they actually keep record of American politicians that go to North Korea and cross the DMZ. And spoiler alert, from President Obama's entire presidency, that number was exactly 0.
Right.
The number was 0. President didn't want to, and in fact, he had an executive policy that you weren't allowed to go into North Korea, even as an American politician. So she sure as shit did not do that. And whenever you write a book, people that know that kind of stuff are gonna know that.
Yeah.
And
but
so
you don't need to be that smart to know that was complete BS. You don't need to be in the CIA or FBI, well, not the FBI, but the CIA, to know that was a complete bold-faced lie.
Right. I mean, here's her exact quote. I had the chance to travel to many countries to meet with world leaders. I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I'd been a children's pastor after all. What a fucking loser.
You know what happened here? She thinks all Asians look the same. She met an Asian in Korea and thought it was Kim Jong-un. So I'll give her a pass. There.
I don't know if that's what it was, Kate.
Okay, if I had to guess, I bet she believes she met him.
Maybe she might believe that, being from North Dakota and all. But so she's going on this book tour like all politicians does, and she's releasing a book at a good time for her because she's probably a top 5er to be Trump's VP candidate whenever
not anymore.
Yeah, probably not anymore. But she goes on all these different shows like CBS in the morning, Good Morning America, Newsmax, Fox News. She's going on all these different shows. She was on with Jake Tapper, and she's given almost the same exact answer every time she's been interviewed, where she'll say, I had him take this out as soon as it came to my attention. One, aren't you supposed to be the one that wrote the book? Two, why in the world would your ghostwriter put that information out if you didn't tell him?
Right.
Like if I was like, Kate, I'm going to pay you a sum of money. You know enough about my life to kind of write the book. I'll give you some outlines. You wouldn't just go, you know what? I'm going to throw in this little antidote that he stared down Kim Jong-un. Like,
yeah.
That's not what you just throw it in.
And you said she read the audio. She's the voice of the audiobook. So it's not like she can act surprised about what was.
Because if I was doing it and I was reading the audiobook and then I was going to meet Kim Jong-un, immediately I'd be like, no, I didn't. No.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't meet Kim
I
Jong-un.
wouldn't just keep going. I guess maybe Ron Burgundy did it.
Just read off the teleprompter. She didn't do it, but she's like, oh shit, it's on the page, so I gotta keep reading it anyway.
I gotta read it.
Yeah, no, pretty wild. Sometimes I get mad at my cat when especially with my back hurts when I jump, and he likes to hide under my bed and claw at my toes late at night.
Yeah.
And that's startling. That's a startling thing, and it's ripping all my socks apart.
Do you ever consider shooting him?
I honestly, I've dragged them to the gravel pit a few times, and then, but you wouldn't believe it. There's always construction going on.
I'm going to be telling Baby Dale that all the time. You better watch your P's and Q's, mister. I'll take your ass to the gravel pit.
Yeah. There's a sale at gravel at Home Depot right now, Spork, you son of a bitch.
I guarantee you'd rather go to the tree line than a gravel pit.
But like I feel bad sometimes. So sometimes I take a towel and I under the bed. I'm like, hey. And then afterwards I'm like, I'm a bad person. I feel kind of bad. And like, say your dog is a fucking dickhead. Call around. Maybe there's a farm there. Like, rehouse it. Find something else.
There's all kinds of options.
Retrain it.
You don't just go to the first course of action shooting it.
Your goat's a dick because he still has a penis. Maybe get rid of the penis then. I guess.
Yeah, and that doesn't even take a whole lot with a goat. Just tie a couple tight rubber bands around it, and you're good. They'll fall off by themselves.
That sounds bad.
She's almost impressive though with her levels of stupidity. Because she keeps doubling and tripling down and lighting herself on fire, essentially. That, like I said, it's almost impressive. And the fact that she has nobody on her team that stepped in at some point, and she's obviously just surrounded by a bunch of yes men that have not thought, maybe we should tell you, don't tell that story because it's pretty easy to disprove it. She needs a good friend to,
in this tone, say, honey.
Oh, honey, no.
Honey, that's enough, honey.
Think about this, though.
I love you, Kristi.
You. Yeah, no.
You know I love you. That's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah, but think about this. Think about, like, how ridiculous you have to be for Trump to be like, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do it. That's no.
I think what she was going for was like, I am the American farmer dream, like this. I am what an American is, and sometimes we have to do hard things, like put our animals down. And I shout out to did it with my own guns.
That's essentially what she is saying.
But what she underestimated, I think, was that everybody fucking loves dogs, man.
Right.
Whatever
she thought
side
this
of
was
the
going
fence
to endear her. She
Yeah.
thought this was going to endear her to everybody, and it just blew up in her face. And instead of realizing that, maybe like going behind the scenes and then quieting down a little bit, she just keeps telling more stories. And now
But
that
I bet it did endear her with a bunch of people. I bet it did. So
other people that kill their dogs in gravel pits are like, I don't feel that bad about it now.
yeah,
Like,
they have a Facebook.
if the governor of South Dakota could do it, then I could do it too. I think the reason. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you pointed out all the reasons why, like, it was ridiculous. Like, clearly she just doesn't know dogs, because she shouldn't have treated this one as though it should have been behaved at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So she almost is again outing herself as a moron.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but I think the reason why she keeps like going back and forth, because so many of these news anchors, and credit to them, they're not just letting her get away with it, because I think the audience would get pissed about this more than any of the other shit. Like,
and that's on news sites that are on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Like like
Newsmax is taking her, giving her the business.
Oh, honey.
There was one dude that has like the primetime lunch show on Newsmax. I just watched it like a few minutes ago. This dude is sitting there and he was like, he tells her straight ass to her face, if somebody would have asked me last week who were the top 3 people in running for VP, I would say you. If they asked me who's the top 15 now, I wouldn't include your name. And she goes, why do you say that? And he said, did you meet with Kim Jong-un? And she said, well, I took that part and went straight back to the talking point. And he goes, that's why. He's like, you can't even give an honest answer. Like, that's as simple. And so many other people like, that's a simple yes or no. All I want is a yes or no. Did you meet with Kim Jong-un? Well, I took that detail out of the book as soon as it became into my attention. Like, that's exactly what you don't want. Like, that's quarterback answer in a non-quarterback kind of situation.
We're starting to see too, again, it 'tis the season where candidates are lying about their military experience. And it happens on, again, both sides of the fence, because they think it's going to endear them to people when all the people want is somebody fucking honest for once, for the love of God.
Yeah. And we've talked about, this is a military show. I think you're speaking of the congressman who this week people were saying that the DOD said that he didn't have 2 Bronze Stars. But we've talked about this before with medals and shit like that. You could tell people that you got a letter of appreciation from the Commandant of the Marine Corps, from the base general of Quantico. And in most people's estimation, that could be the same level as a Silver Star. Yeah. Like, they just have no idea what the award situation is. None.
I got on my first star, I got a combat meritorious promotion to corporal. Had nothing to do with combat, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
and that's all I need to know.
I had no idea you were meritorious promoted.
The American public probably knows 2, Medal of Honor and Purple Heart. And beyond that, doesn't go much further.
So and they're not even sure bronze anything, and my dumb ass is like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, the Bronze Age. Yeah, damn. Bronze Age, pretty sick.
Shoot.
Yeah. And I bet they wouldn't even know which one's higher. Cons. Like, if you said which one's the higher, Medal of Honor or Purple Heart, I bet a lot would say Purple Heart.
I bet you're right.
Yeah,
I bet you're right.
Not us. I know my stuff.
Right. Yeah. I think you would actually.
No, you would get that I know.
You'd crush that. I mean, you just said that you got meritoriously promoted to corporal. How did I not know that? Combat meritorious.
It was only because that's what happens when you're deployed and you get a meritorious promotion. They call it a combat meritorious promotion. Had nothing to do with combat.
Either way, meritorious promotion's good.
On a computer.
So everybody listening at home, each battalion only gets 2 quarter that they're able to do it. Kate did it in a combat zone. Good for Kate.
Good for me. That's the only reason I brought up this whole story. I wanted to slip that in.
I was going to make a funny joke, but I decided not to.
Don't tell lies in 2024, because people have the ability to go back. I was saying earlier today, you could find out what somebody got in their 6th grade social studies class. So lying is just a ticking time bomb until somebody finds out.
Right? Isn't that so wild? Like, did she think nobody was going to check? Like that, what reality are you in that you don't think?
And I would understand if it was like a bar story, like you've been drinking a little bit.
Yeah.
You're a congressperson on the House Arms Committee, and you're like, yeah, man, when I fucking met Kim Jong-un, you're not this piece of shit. You're not going to believe some of the things he told me. And I was like, listen, Kim, this shit's not going to fly.
I've read a few like Rolling Stone interviews of famous people who say crazy shit, and then the following line is like, and then the celebrity called me the next day and said that they were really high when they said that previous thing. And like, I would have been like, okay.
Yeah, if she would have said that when
I'm sorry, man, I was tripping balls when I told you about shooting cricket. I didn't do that. I would have been like, okay.
But one of the reasons why I think she's doing all of this is because she can't say that she never told the ghostwriter that, because I would imagine that breaks her NDA. Like the ghostwriter's NDA, like if she took a direct shot at that person who wrote it, they could then produce the notes and be like, no, bitch, you fucking told me.
Yeah.
So she will never say that, because then that catches her in the direct lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the reason why she has to stick to that talking point, because you can almost see the pain of idiocy on her face.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't get to be the governor without having some sense of what people are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And even with as crazy as I think Trump is, he does read his people well.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a huge part about being a politician. It's not necessarily about being smart. It's not about your policy position. How well can you charm, and how well can you lead people to believe that you know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this has shades of the Palin Katie Couric interview, but I think on a much worse scale.
Oh yeah. I mean, this might be the end of her political career.
Nah.
Because they don't
days.
they also don't not nearly as forgiving to women politicians as they are men.
True. That's true. But she's attractive.
Which is weird. Yeah, well, so that's what I was going to ask you. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, if she had not said any of this, how much her looks would have helped her?
Yeah.
Country.
It's true.
I said I was looking for a hottie. I said I didn't care what side.
I mean, throughout most of history, you don't have a whole lot of uggos that are in charge of stuff. Unless you're like one of those freaks from England that have...
Gorbachev?
No, yeah, but that's Russian. It's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they value being ugly over there. Especially for dudes. They're like, this dude's ugly. He's not going to try to fuck. He's just going to try to
US
kill.
Staff sergeants.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some save rounds and alibis. Cons, what do you got, my friend?
Man, I find new ways to get yelled at seemingly every day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the latest. This past weekend, we're getting ready to have some people over on Saturday. And I'm sitting on the couch and I hear from the kitchen, you messed up the dip. And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know what I did to the dip to mess it up. She says, it's all uneven now. I had taken a chip, scooped some dip for myself before our guests had arrived, and it was no longer flat, and it didn't appear aesthetically pleasing. I got yelled at for that. For messing up the dip.
Yeah, that's a big yell at. If I not just dip, if I touch a single thing that has been prepared before people actually get in, I'm talking even a blackberry. If there's like a meat and cheese board out and I grab a piece of fruit from that thing,
man, can you guys talk to Pat?
Big trouble.
He thinks I'm being crazy if I ask for help with the kids. You guys are getting in trouble for dipping.
Yeah.
Tell him how good he has it.
Yeah.
Can't help you there.
Sheesh.
But I credit to Alex. Like, she slaves in the kitchen. It's unbelievable. I'll send you guys pictures of what she prepared. It's unbelievable. So, that's why I just say, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. And I don't fight back on it.
I will fucking apologize so fast. I don't care what it is. I'm just apologizing. Immediate.
Yeah, you're right. I am wrong.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
What happened?
So,
I don't know, but I'm sorry. Yeah. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I didn't put some chicken into the fridge, and then I saw it the next day and she wanted to use some of that chicken. And I was like, I thought I was doing the right thing here, but I apologize. Messed up the chicken sitch.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Sorry about chicken sitch.
And then one thing, last thing, just driving around my neighborhood, I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe because I've lived in Hoboken for so long, and I just think it's a different time now, and everybody's sitting inside behind a screen. But all the time now I see in my neighborhood driving around, kids are outside playing. I stopped the other day, and I got some lemonade from a lemonade stand. The kids were selling lemonade. And it's just nice to know that those things are still alive and well and happening.
But you got to watch these fuckers, Cons. You got to watch some of these kids. There's one across the street from me, and she's super, just goes out of her way trying to make money, entrepreneurial. She has had car washes. She can't reach higher than like the wheel well.
How old do we think she is?
She's like second grade. So she's doing this, but I mean, every time she does it, I'll let her wash the rims of my car. I'm like, I'll give you $5 to wash the rim because I don't want her touching the paint.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just do the rims. That's the only thing I need. And she'll do it. The other day she's done lemonade too. I'll go over there and get a glass of lemonade. And when I was like, how much to buy out the rest of your lemonade? She's like, $5. I was like, done. Give me the whole gallon. So the other day, this weekend, she came by and she was like, hey, I want to see if you want to buy something from me. I was like, we doing lemonade again? Because I am kind of thirsty. She pulls a folder out from behind her back. And she was like, I got some articles. And I was like, what do you mean articles? She was like, she opened it up. She had cut different articles out of different magazines and newspapers.
She had a paywall.
She did. And she came over and I was like, well, how much for an article? And she was like $1. And I was like, listen, kiddo, anytime you're selling stuff, but I'm not paying $1 for day old news that I could have got for 55 cents.
She curated a newsletter for you.
She did.
Essentially.
She did.
Hell yeah. That's good. She's going places.
She is going places. Good for her.
I like that. You got to hustle. I like that. So it's good to know the kids are still out there doing the things that we did.
They are. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Kate?
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, that's coming up this week. Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's this weekend. I think I've talked about this on here before, but I'm very much a head up my own ass person. You guys know this very well, like big time. Can't see the tree for the forest or whatever they say.
No, that's
my head's so far up my own ass. Mm-hmm. When I was deploying on the FET team, all I could think about, I was on the bus crying. I'm like, my fiance. Like, I was like, what if I never see him again? Like, so dramatic. Not noticing around me that there were mothers who said goodbye to their children to go do the same thing I did. Mm-hmm. And now as a mother, I'm like, oh, that's a very different level of hard compared to like a romantic relationship. That is another level. So I just wanted to give a lot of love to the moms in the military out there who have to spend time away from their children, because it is the hands down. I've never had to do it, but I can tell you it's hands down the most difficult thing that a mother ever has to do,
or father.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying specifically.
We'll talk about fathers next month.
Yeah, for Mother's Day. Yeah,
Mother's Day. But moms have a very special, especially young children, babies and toddlers, toddler age, like whatever. I do think it's a slightly different bond sometimes than dad. Like, I know every situation is different, but like, it is just so ridiculously hard. Mm-hmm. And there's so many moms out there who are doing incredible things for this country who have to step away from their children. And I don't know. I'm blown away by how many incredible moms there are out there in the service. So I'm thinking of them this weekend, and I'm grateful for them this weekend and the sacrifices that they make. And I guess that's about it.
That is nice.
Fellas, if you're a dad, do something nice without her asking. Let her sleep in without her hinting at it. Take the kids to the park on your
fellas,
own.
do the absolute bare minimum.
Do the bare minimum.
Yeah, do the bare minimum.
Hey, fellas, just be a parent.
But I've thought about it, and I think the best gift that I've seen is getting the mom a night at a hotel in town, like a staycation. Just one night. You don't have to book anything else. Let me take some cans of wine, go over there, and get ripped.
Yep.
No, just kidding. But that'd be sick.
I'm excited about my gift for Annalise.
What'd you get?
Super nerd, because I told you I've been the lady books that I had talked about last week.
My physical therapist this morning was
Akatar?
like, I have a book for you, Thorns and whatever.
Yeah, Court of Thorns and Roses.
I was like, yeah, I know. I already know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. And the audiobook's great too. I've been doing reading at home, and then whenever I ride into work, I do the audiobook.
That's where the magic lady drags her dragons out to the gravel pit and she shoots them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very close to that.
I've read that.
So you're going to record yourself reading it and then give her that.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So inside that world, there's like, it's expansive, like fantasy books, they will have like this world that they develop that it's kind of like intermingles with humans sometimes. And the map is really confusing because there's like certain spots, and she loves it. Like, she loves this series so much that she's considering getting a tattoo of something in there.
Yeah.
So I got her a big map for her office of like the world that it is in Akatar. So I'm excited to give her that, because it's nerding out, and she's so difficult to buy for typically.
Yeah.
Like, I think not most, but I think a lot of adult people are incredibly difficult to buy for, because if you want something, you kind of go get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So finding something that I know she'll like is good.
Yes.
That's good.
I think that's a great gift.
Yeah. Other than that, I have a really fun weekend. One of my favorite bands, Teskey Brothers, is coming here.
Ooh.
So I'm going to see that Friday.
Where?
The Salt Shed.
Hell yeah.
Which is a
I don't know
great
what that
venue
is,
here.
but
It's a great venue.
It's an old salt factory.
Yeah.
The Morton Salt. It's an old Morton Salt factory. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So it's like I don't know, like probably maybe 1,500, 2,000 people.
Maybe probably like 3,000, 4,000.
Okay.
Because there'll be some bigger acts, like Jason Isbell will play there. Like, I saw him there.
I'll tell you what though, I would classify that as intimate. I love venues like that.
Yeah,
it's great.
You're a good concert guy to go with.
The only bad part about it is that my wife and one of our friends, she hurt her leg, so she's not going to go anymore. And then my wife was like, well, if she's out, then I'm out. So now it's going to be me and 3 other dudes going to a band that's like croony blues.
Oh, okay.
Which should be a nice experience. Instead of swaying back and forth with Lana, at least I'll be swaying back and forth with my guy
With the
Steve.
boys, swaying with the boys.
Yeah,
swaying
that'll
with
be a
Steve.
good time. But I'm playing Cog Hill on Saturday for a friend's birthday, and then Sunday it's going to be a nice little Mother's Day action.
Oh yeah, very nice.
And I've been starting my bike training.
Yes.
Which has been fun. The road bike, I had no idea the difference that it makes. Like for how fast you can go.
Much easier.
Oh yeah, super easy. Because I was kind of worried, like not in great shape, like cardiovascular. Like I could still pick up heavy stuff, but as far as being like in cardiovascular state, because you guys know I'll never run except unless it's work required.
Yeah.
But this one, you just pedal just a little bit. You're going like 15 miles an hour. Easy.
Yeah.
Now, Lance Armstrong, kind of a bitch. Why do you need steroids for that?
Yeah.
Or 2 testicles.
Yeah. My balls are so small. I barely have one.
I
Feel
will
your
say,
balls, everyone.
That's right.
I'm
nice Mother's Day
Thank
advice.
You.
I'm fascinated by him. And I also really appreciate, we talked about honesty. I think people are coming back around on him for how honest he's been about everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, here's why I did it. I admit to everything that I was accused of. I admit that I lied. I'm sorry, but here's why. It's like, okay, I can get that. You're human. So
yeah, but it's a 6-year mistake. That's.
You need.
I mean, I think
it wasn't like a one-time deal. Yeah. No, it was repeated behavior.
Yeah. It's easy to be like, yeah, I fucked up after you have a huge Nike deal and you won 6.
Yeah, but that's why I think I find him fascinating. It's like to get a look inside that brain to someone who can keep a lie going for that long, to almost to the point where George Costanza, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So, Laura, sorry, you mentioned golf, chaps. I just want to give myself a tap on my shoulder here. I'm foregoing golf this weekend to be with Alex. And also because I'm going to Kiowa next week with all my college buddies, so I won't be gone. I'll be gone for 4 days. But
I'm gonna
mostly because I want to spend Mother's Day.
Yeah, gotta clip that one. Clip it. And some would say not going golfing on Mother's Day is the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum.
But I'm not.
Way to go, Cons. Way to go, Cons. Yeah, I'm not gonna be a huge piece of shit this weekend. Next weekend, Alex is screwed. All right, that's it, everybody. We'll see you next time. Sound the retreat. Bye.
Bye, Con. Safe travels.
Thank you.